Good evening, I am Scipio the Cardboard Gambler, and I still don't have my Jumpstart box, so this is kind of one of those emergency videos until the product that I've ordered and bought comes in the mail, waiting on the snail mail. Next month is going to be amazing, but I wanted to do a quick little video, not showing off my entire collection. I've been playing for over 10 years, but I wanted to kind of go over a few highlights just for those that were curious. So I wanted to start off with a couple of the staples. I actually ended up getting these foil paths. I pulled each one of them out of a pack back when Modern Masters 2017 came out. So I thought it was really cool. And I'm a big time mid-range player, so I ended up picking up a playset of foils pretty cheap. I think I paid like $6 a piece. Felt like I was stealing picking up foil Inquisitions, but definitely a classic staple if you enjoy the modern format. And then we got the good old Fatal Push, which I pulled like 3 or 4 of these like foil out of packs. And then honorable mention, I'll go over these Beast Withins I was playing way back in New Phyrexia. Really liked the art, but these ended up actually being worth a pretty penny. So this is my modern quad binder. I started off as a big time standard only player. Modern didn't exist as a format, and slowly but surely a lot of my standard cards became modern playable cards. So I ended up making this switch from standard to modern, and I felt like Magic was starting to get really expensive. It is really expensive. And I felt like if I was going to spend a bunch of money, that I wanted to invest that money into a non-rotating format. It just made a lot of sense. If I'm going to spend $500, I don't want my cards to rotate. So we'll start off. There's a couple of cards missing here and there. I'm always like building decks and taking things out and buy listing, and there's a lot of movement, but I'm going to go back to filling this out. I highly recommend the quad row binders. They are absolutely awesome. So without further ado, I'm going to try to adjust the camera. Some good old staples, rest in peace. We got Stonies. I've got a foiled out Humans deck, and that's a card that sees play in Humans every now and then. Aureoch Champions. This is a really good card back when Splinter Twin was a thing. This was kind of like my secret tech against Splinter Twin. It's actually really good against Death Shadow. I've got the entire Humans deck foiled out, so I needed me some Aureoch Champions. And then same thing with the Charming Prince. Containment Priest being modern and Pioneer legal is a big thing, so I went ahead and picked some up. And then these were like spec cards for Pioneer. I like playing kind of like the White Weenie aggressive strategies and stuff like that, so I thought Toolcraft Exemplar would actually be a pretty decent card, which so far it hasn't really seen much play. So let's see, we'll go over some more like kind of Pioneer specky cards. Ranger of Eos, there was a black and white Death Shadows deck that played that, and I just had an extra one. It's not worth like a crap ton of money like it was when it first came out, so I just decided to hold on to it. And then I pulled like a Shatter the Sky. And let's see, blue is definitely not my favorite color in Magic. I usually buy list a lot of my like really good blue cards, but these cards aren't really worth a lot, but they're really playable, and for some reason I find myself needing them, so I just kept a playset. Now we get to the good black stuff. Living End is one of my personal all-time favorite decks. I top 8'd I got 9th at a Star City Games Open with Living End. I will drop a link to the video below, but it's one of my all-time favorite decks. And then you got the good old Cletus. He's a classic in Pioneer. He sees a little bit of modern play, not as much as he used to. And then I got my Thoughtseizes, which there's rumor that Double Masters might be reprinting it, which is awesome. Languish was kind of like a niche-y modern card for my Abzan mid-range. And let's see, next up we got the Veils. Finally pulled a Lily. Finally pulled one of the new Lilies. I'm excited to try her out. And then I had a bunch of these Last Hopes, And then I moved them right before Pioneer was announced as a format, and now it's like a $50 card, and it's like, ugh. And then we got our Brutalities, really good card. Got my shiny Living Ends. I think I have the whole deck foiled out except for the lands. So there we go. Let's see if I can adjust this camera just a little bit. We had Force of Despair. It's never saw play, but sometimes I just keep copies of cards I think might see play, so I don't have to rebuy them later. And then Murderous Rider is a pretty decent card. It sees Pioneer play. These were spec cards I thought were going to be really good in Pioneer, and I don't think they've really seen much play thus far. And then I've got some foil Plague Engineers for my foiled out humans. Some pre-release graveyard shenanigans. There's been a lot of graveyard shenanigans in pretty much every format, so I need to pick up a couple of more shiny ones. And then Ox, I had an opportunity to get these really cheap. It had just came out. There was a lot of hype around them. These might sit in my binder for a while, or I might sell them. And let's see, we've got the Cut. We've got the, Cut and Ribbons is another like kind of pioneer-y card. I think it's pretty solid. Same thing with Rekindling Phoenix. There's kind of like this blue-red Living In deck. So I just pulled that out of a random pack. I ended up keeping it. Surgical Extraction's a classic. Pioneer. There's also like a Prowess deck in Modern that's actually not bad. So I got some Soul Scars. These things are actually like, I think over $5. So more Pioneer. That just got banned. I should have got rid of that. Oopsies. Pioneer. More Pioneer. When I'm first into a new format, I kind of default into an aggressive deck until I learn the format and start to figure it out. So I think I'm pretty sure I've got most of the red deck for Pioneer. Same thing with Hazarets. Alpine Moons go in my mid-range decks. These are really awesome cards. I was really surprised how much I loved them. Got the Seasoned Pyromancer. I've got a bunch of Mangus of the Moons. Let's see, Anger of God is a classic. Blood Moon is I have a love-hate relationship with Blood Moon, that's for sure. Let's see, and then we got the good old Goyfies. Man, I remember when these were like $200 a piece, and then thank God for the reprints. I would have never been able to afford Goys back in the day. And this is another card that I've played with in my mid-range decks, and I really like it. This Nissa is really good in Pioneer. Picked up a couple, ripped a couple out of the packs. Keep them in the binder. There's a lot of cards in the binder where I'm not really playing them yet, but I plan to maybe. I just don't want to like rebuy a card I've already had. And I've done bad things to people with Rabblemaster over the years. Really powerful card. We got the Scoozes. They just got reprinted. I've got the green-black deck for Pioneers, like a ramp, bomb, beat 'em up kind of deck. The Great Henge is a really good card for that. I got some foil collector umps for my humans. This is a good secret hidden gem, Pro Black. The Charmeleon Colossus, really enjoy that one. And Gearhulk was a spec when Pioneer first got announced. This was kind of one of the first cards I got for like 60-75 cents a piece. I don't think it's quite seen like playing Pioneer just yet, but definitely gonna keep my eye out on that one. And let's see, I got some Cocos card I bought, sold, bought, sold, bought, sold. So this is my latest batch of Cocos. Force of Vigor is really awesome. Thragtusk is really annoying. Got some random mares in here. I like to play these guys in my human deck sometimes, but I don't think it's really like caught on. I think most human decks, you're not gonna see that card in there. So we're gonna move on to the multicolored stuff. Hooligan's Command. Stoneforge Mystic got unbanned, and these got real hot. Jun got real good. Abrupt Decays. This is kind of like a card that's in and out of humans. Really good graveyard hate piece. I've got 2 pre-release foils. And we got good old Siege Rhino. Love or hate him, but he was really awesome. I don't think he sees play in anything anymore. Dreadbore. We got some Maelstrom Poles. We got some stuff. So let's see. I got that full Euro I pulled out of a collector's pack that I've been meaning to move, but I just kind of keep forgetting it. Jun's starting to use these guys in Modern, so I got a couple of those. I got my playset of Fulminator Mages for my living end. Love, love, love. It's not very often when they reprint a card with new art, and I end up loving that new art more than the old. But Fulminator Mage is definitely one of those cards where I definitely love the new art over the old. So we got some more multicolored goodies. Got Octigue's really good in humans decks against like Tron and like the big mana decks. And then we got Deputy of Detention. Knight of Autumn is a really good utility card. These never really caught on, so these might sit in the binder for a while, but it's just not that great of a card. Oh, looks like we're going to get to the goodie land pile in a while. Tarkus Command was another card I picked up for Pioneer that I thought was going to be really, really good. Same thing with Dramoka's Command, and they just haven't quite caught on yet. Then we got a Verdict. I thought the Hounds was a really cool card. It's not really worth a lot, but I wanted to kind of have one in the binder just in case. And Golgari Queen works really well in the mid-range decks with like Ren and 6. It's like peanut butter and jelly. So you can't really play competitively without your lands. You got to have your lands, and I got very fortunate. I was very lucky to actually be playing Zendikar when these came out, and I actually was playing Khans of Tarkir when these fetch lands came out. So as my buddies were selling them and trading them away for in-store credit and stuff like that, I held on to everything. So this is like the first part of my lands binder. Let's see, next up, we've got the Horizon Cycle lands. I don't use too many of them, but they're great. They're absolutely awesome. They turn into a card that, you know, they're a land drop early, turn into a card late. And then of course you got your Shakis, waiting for these guys to get reprinted. These will get reprinted one day. I'm just not sure how and when. Let's see, we've got some more fetches, some more cycles, some more Shakis. I'm not a big time blue player, but I kept a couple of blues because I was tired of buying them, selling them, buying them, selling them, buying them, selling them. So we got some more Shakis, and then these buddy lands are Pioneer lands basically. So I definitely wanted to pick up some of these before like there was a giant kind of price spike. Then we got these Throne lands, which I think are all really cool and awesome. So I wanted to pick those up just in case I needed them for Pioneer. And then this foil Triome. This foil Triome I ended up picking up, or I pulled out of a pack. And this is one of my favorite color combinations, Abzan. So I kept that. Got a couple of Filter lands. Got that for the full humans. Let's see, the creature lands are awesome. I've played with them a lot. Let's see, we got some more buddies. Westvale Abbey was another kind of spec Pioneer card I picked up just in case I needed it. It's funny how like the buddy lands didn't see any play really in Modern. I don't play too many buddies, but in Pioneer they're really, really good. And I really like the Ixalan art a lot better than like the original like core set kind of art. Inspire Industry was another card I thought was going to be really, really good in Pioneer, so I went ahead and picked those up. And let's see, we're getting to the artifacts. Good old Graph Digger's Cage. There was a time, I want to say for about a year, where like every single sideboard was running these. Heart of Kirin was another card. After they banned Smuggler's Copter, I picked up some because I wanted, you know, for Pioneer, I thought they were going to be really good. I don't think they've really caught on, but there's too many decks running them. But it was like colorless, it's a 4/4 flyer, there's no more Smuggler's Copter, it just made sense. And then I pulled that guy out of the pre-release kit. Let's see, Pioneer, Bromat Courier. These are staples in Pioneer sideboards against like aggressive matchups. Let's see, more Pioneers, got some Engineering Explosives. And I think, yep, that's it for kind of the Modern Pioneer cards that I don't have sleeved up in the deck. Let's see, I've got 2 decks sleeved up right now. There's not a whole lot of playing, you know, Magic the Gathering right now, but this is my red-green Ponzai deck. see, I don't think I have any super shiny foils, but the last time I played this deck, I ended up top 8ing the Star City Games Regional. So I just wanted to kind of fan it out really quick. It was really fun. It's absolutely amazing how many cards I can draw in a green deck. Like, green really is the new blue in my opinion. So me and Ren 6, I definitely was playing that day one. That card is absolutely busted. Season Pyro, so you just ramp, you drop a Blood Moon or like Mangus of the Moon and do bad things to people and draw a bunch of cards. So I actually picked it up really cold, showed up to the regionals, top 8'd her. So, and we got the good old sideboard action, which hasn't been updated in a while. So there we go for Panzai, and this is the deck I played last week. Good old foiled out humans. So thank God for some reprints. I was able to pick up these foils for a really good price back when Ultimate Masters dropped. So I ended up getting some shinies for the shiny human. These are absolutely beautiful. I know they just did a new dropship series with Athalia, and I really do like the art, but I think like these Steve Argyle ones to me are like the best Thalia art. I absolutely love them. I probably overpaid a little bit for them. Then we got our caverns. I just saw the new extended Meddling Mage. I'm definitely chasing that. Then we got some OG Aether Vials all the way from Canada. I did a trade with my buddy Wooly, and he ended up getting a revised dual land off me, but I ended up picking up a playset of OG Aether Vials. Just gonna quickly kind of go through this. Yeah, I don't honestly believe that pulling out a modern deck is a really good idea, but just because your decks change and you constantly have to update them, I don't think it's a good idea to really like foil out a modern deck. But it was just kind of one of those moments where I had an opportunity to do it and I just did it. There was like nothing else I needed. But this thing is sweet. I think these are a big deal. Being modern and Pioneer legal is a really big deal. And these set me back a pretty penny. Good old Dampening Sphere, definitely a staple. My buddy Cabal, and these things have been putting in work lately. So that's it for my 2 modern decks that I currently have sleeved up. I will end things off with a little bit of reserve list gold. So Magic the Gathering is the game that I play, and Pokemon is the game that I collect. But every once in a while, a really good deal will come up for like a reserve list card, and I'll end up picking that up. So I think my buddy Gray Fox hooked me up with a bunch of them. So I ended up with some Tides. Really good card. These things have been spec'd on for years. I actually think it's a really good card, like EDHE card, but they still haven't really quite caught on. And we got the Opulence. This is a classic. This is a crazy art. I absolutely love it. And I ended up buying an old collection. This isn't worth a lot, but it is reserve list. I bought an old collection, couldn't get rid of it, and I was like, you know what? I'll just leave it up and keep it. I don't mind keeping a card that's not necessarily worth a lot. I don't mind holding on to a few every now and then. Let's see, and then we got a classic. We got Recurring Nightmare. Got a really good price. A lot of these cards are in really good shape. I didn't want a bunch of like used and abused copies. And I think, yeah, Gray Fox hooked me up with some City of Solitudes. I got quite a few. Got a good old 3-piece. Really sweet classic card. Let's see, we got Earthcraft. This card is absolutely insane and busted. It's banned for a reason. This thing is awesome. This and the art really brings me back. I remember when Tempest came out, and I remember pulling Earthcraft. Definitely awesome. And then I got another one. Let's see. And Survival, there's a classic. This thing is absolutely minty fresh too. I don't want to take it out. But definitely classic. Look at that art. You think Magic could get away with that art nowadays? Probably not. This is kind of another one of those reserve list gems. The guy that traded me said like it was lightly played. but as you can see, it is not lightly played. So I'm a little ticked off, but I ended up keeping it. And we got Lifeline. Null Rod was a classic in Legacy when Legacy was a thing. I think it's still worth a couple of bucks. Let's see, Phyrexian Dreadnought had like a ridiculous spike. Really sweet card, really like the art. Very, very long time ago, Mirage. Really sweet card. And we got Helm of Obedience. I got this guy from my buddy Shawarmer from Secret Santa, I think last year. He hooked me up. So thank you again. Love this art. Really classic, awesome card. This was, I think there was like a Legacy kind of control-y deck that was built around Helm of Obedience. And we got Mana Web. These things are like absolutely minty fresh, and it's reserve list, so I picked up a couple. They're really, really cheap. I believe these won't be cheap one day. And then on to the big daddies. So we got Sliver Queen. This just recently got like a spike. Really sweet card. I had an opportunity to get one. I jumped on it. And we got Sarah's Sanctum, one of my favorite lands of all time. Absolutely love the art. Definitely lots of nostalgia attached to this guy. And we got Lake of the Dead. Really sweet card. It's had a couple of spikes here and there. Just doesn't really seem to be worth like insane money just yet. But I really like this art a lot. It's really, really cool. And then we'll end things off with probably the most expensive Magic card that I own. Lion's Eye Diamonds. Just had a ton of spikes recently. Sees a ton of play. Very nostalgic, very classic, very expensive. So I had an opportunity to get one at a really, really good price, and I jumped on it probably, I want to say a year and a half ago. So there we have it. Thank you very much for going over my personal collection. And until next time, bye for now.